So my topic is on the Mount Polley mine spill. This was a huge environmental issue back in August 2014, and it happened in the Caribou region of British Columbia. And you can see here in this visual, there's actually a dam here that was breached. That's actually what caused the spillage of many substances that contain slurry from the mines as well as water. So it spilled all within the nearby lakes and rivers. Quickly mentioned here, it says about the First Nations people. So it directly hit the people living here, and it mentions about the surrounding water likely to be safe, but after further testing, it was deemed unsafe. And so there was a warning put out where the First Nations peoples and around the area, they could not drink the water that they were given, so they had to get their water from someplace else. So just a quick look at where Caribou is within British Columbia. It is more south and central, kind of in the middle. And zoomed in, here's where Mount Polley is. So the dam actually broke and it seeped into Polley Lake here and within the creek. So you can tell that it is quite a big area that it affected. So it's important that the environment is looked after in this area. And they actually had people empty the majority of the water and the waste that was in the debris area. So that's good that they wanted to solve the problem quickly and not waste time polluting the earth. So here's just another visual. It's a bit blurry, but you can see all right here the water and sludge from the mine just pouring out, taking down trees. It almost looks like a landslide. And as I said before, it occurred in August. And the overview, I really like this website of the mine disaster. And there was a local state of emergency about the drinking water, as mentioned before. After investigation, the cause of the spill revealed that the mine engineers failed to account for the slit underneath the tailings of the pond. So this caused the dam to collapse, and it mentioned no charges or fines were laid, but the investigation of the spill is ongoing still to this day. And it's an open pit golden mine. So the operation has been around since 1996. So it hasn't been too long, but it's still an issue. I just want to touch on the 3 questions of geography. So what's where? So this is just kind of about the issue of the mine disaster and environmental how it affected the area, taking out trees, polluting the nearby streams and lakes, and also the fish within the waters have high counts of mercury and arsenic within their bodies that people around the area can't even eat the fish. So it went into the nearby lakes and creeks, as I said before, and the slurry is really bad for the environment, just spreading it around. And why it was actually in this area is mining is known to happen in Western Canada, Northwest Canada, Northwest Territories, Alberta, British Columbia. And so they mine because there are so many resources that people use. People want copper and gold and oils just to use. So that's why it happened there. And as mentioned before, the dam collapsed because of a slight error. And why should we care? It had a huge environmental impact on that area. Even though we don't live around that area, living in Ontario, it's still important to know what's happening in the country. Many of the residents around there couldn't drink their water, so that had a huge impact on the First Nations people. And it also shows how bad mining can be for the environment. A lot of places have actually stopped mining because of the environment. But up here, I have mentioned economically, it makes sense to mine because of all the resources we get. I actually, before doing some more research on the topic, it was such a huge environmental disaster that mine safety experts and media articles called the spill one of the biggest environmental disasters in modern Canadian history. So that's actually a quite big thing to happen. I still can't believe this photo. It's amazing the damage that had been done, and just goes on to think how much more we need to make sure how mining is affecting the environment. So here's just a quick look at some more things that happened within Mount Polley. So you can see all the trees that were taken down. So the health of the ecosystem was definitely at risk. It took down so many trees and area that it's hard to gain back what was lost. It destroyed a lot of homes for animals, and they probably won't ever get those homes back because of the waste that is found there. So of course there are many other problems that have arose while looking into Mount Polley. And it mentions here about the operators allowing waste to build up to, go past the capacity of what the pond was designed for. So definitely that was something to look into. The mine operation should have been looking after that. And but with the mine going out of business for a while, quite a lot of people had been laid off and lost their jobs. So there's that effect of socially people losing jobs. So that's not really fair to them, that because of a mistake people made of not looking after the dam and the capacity of this village, others had to sacrifice, getting money from a job. So I hope that gave a bit more information if you didn't already know about Mount Polley mine disaster and just how it affected not only the environment but the people of Cariboo region and how toxic everything was. It really is something that was a big mistake that happened. But with them looking over it and trying to find a cure to not really a cure, but a solution to the problem, it helps so that we know they are doing something about it and not just letting the spill to happen again and again. So yeah, that's all about Mount Polley mine disaster.